Welcome to episode 2 of the Ball Knowledge Podcast. I'm Will.
I'm Ahmed.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Lucas.
What are we talking about today?
A lot of things. But our main topic is hot takes, but we're not going to get straight into that. We're going to start off with talking a little bit about world football, any recent events that have happened since the last episode. Anybody want to start talking about anything in particular first?
Joel, talk
what do you
about
wanna talk
City
about?
versus Spurs.
Okay, talk about it.
Okay.
Well, I've got some stuff to say about both of those teams later on when we get to hot takes, but I will say, even as biased as I am, it feels like with City, it's just a switch that we can just turn on and off whenever we want to try. And just the fact that we have so many different players that can step up and change a game. Like, everyone's looking to Haaland, like, Haaland's got to score. But then Julian Alvarez comes up and steps up and scores a big goal for us. And then Mahrez just, like, peaks on Tottenham and just is so good. And to think that we still had, Bernardo came in late, but we still had Bernardo on the bench for the whole game. We had Foden on the bench. We had De Bruyne on the bench. Like, we still have these players that can come in and be game changers that aren't even playing in a game like that.
Every time, I'm watching a City game and I see them, down 2 goals, it's just, I know they're going to come back. There's just something about it, something about a Pep team. They're just never going to be done until the final whistle.
Yeah, going off of what Joel said, I really like what you said about Mahrez. Mahrez is one of my favorite players. And I know recently there's been a little bit of stick about Mahrez, like even some theories that he's scores a pen in like a blowaway game and like that's all he's known for doing. But he showed that he can carry the team on his back for a game and had I think 2 goals and an assist, which I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, I'm super excited that Mahrez is reaching form again since the UCL's coming up, and I just think he was so clinical the past couple UCLs. Thinking even back to when we beat PSG and he scored that late goal. Just when he's in form, he can be the best player on the field. Even playing on a field with Haaland and De Bruyne, he's so good.
I agree.
Let's talk about this battle of the mid that happened this morning.
Battle of Midway.
So I unfortunately woke up at 7:30 to see Havertz, Mount, and Ziyech starting up top. Chelsea actually played better than I thought they would. They were definitely the better team. I was hoping Mudryk would get more playtime than he did, but he hasn't played like an actual game since November, I think, so it makes sense. But when he came on, he was really good attacking players. He was fast. I don't know if you guys saw that dribble he had where he almost scored, but I haven't seen anything like that since Hazard, maybe Pulisic a couple times. But
So in 3
yeah.
years, you haven't seen any player do 4 touches like that? That's
No,
insane.
no, I haven't. Not like that. Not that fast. No, not like that. No.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But when we get all our players healthy, this team's gonna be different gravy, bro.
I agree.
I feel like
I
go ahead, Will.
Go ahead. No,
Chelsea
go ahead.
fan? Nah, you got it.
No, go ahead.
All right. I feel like Liverpool and Chelsea had a lot of the same problems in the game until Nunez came on for Liverpool. I just felt like neither team had a dominant striker, and like Havertz, I can't knock him because he's the reason that I don't have a UCL right now. But he's not dominating. He's not commanding. He doesn't take up enough of the center back's focus. So it just really makes it hard to work through when you don't have someone up there that's like imposing on the center backs. And I thought Darwin Nunez, as much of a flop as I think he is, I thought once he came on for Liverpool, he was that player for them, and it opened up a lot for them.
The thing about Havertz is that he's just not a striker, but he plays striker like every single game.
Yeah.
And at Leverkusen, he wasn't a striker. So, yeah.
What was he?
Pretty sure he was a cam. Or he played in midfield at least, not a striker.
I actually thought he played outside, just from this one clip I saw where he was on the sideline. But I think this match today actually it gave me some hope in the vision, the direction we're going. Our defense played pretty good, even though it's against Nunez and Gakpo. It was pretty good. Thiago Silva proving once again how class he is.
38,
typing.
man. And he's just
He's so good.
insane.
Okay, let's move on from Chelsea a little bit. I want to talk about Memphis Depay moving to Atletico Madrid. I think it's one of the worst places that he could have gone for especially as a Barcelona fan. I think we've shown multiple times that you just don't sell your one of your strikers to a rival team is just such a stupid idea. One, we're selling. I mean, he plays on the bench for us, but he's overall a really good striker that plays for Barcelona. Selling him to a team that rivals with us in the league. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, I don't know why we would sell him. I'm sure he had many interests from other clubs, but we decided to sell him to Atletico Madrid. I also think his transfer fee was ridiculous. We sold Suarez, I think, for free. Griezmann, he went back to Atletico Madrid for a really cheap price. I don't understand why we keep selling our strikers to rival teams for so cheap. It just blows my mind. I think it's the stupidest thing that we can do, but hopefully he plays bad for them. I know he played today. I don't think he got any goals or assists, so I hope he continues like that.
What did Depay do?
I love Depay. I just don't have to perform for Atleti. That's all.
How old is he?
He's only 28 too. He's not that old.
He's really good.
Yeah.
That was bad on Barcelona.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that he went to a more defensive side than anything.
Yeah.
I know they need a replacement for Felix, but I don't know if he's gonna do much.
He's not the replacement
there
for Felix. They play completely different positions. I think he's probably a replacement for Morata. I watched a little bit of the Atletico Madrid game today. Morata was horrendous. He's way worse than Nunez. Bro's like Bambi on ice. Has no correlation to any of his body parts. He's so bad.
Bro, I don't know if you guys were actually like watching the Chelsea game, but like 4 or 5 times Chelsea players would be like in the attacking third and they just slip. Multiple times that happened. I'm like, what is going on?
Where was it played? Was it at the Bridge or Anfield?
It was at Anfield.
Anfield.
They put something in that pitch, bro.
Klopp's gonna talk about the grass.
Speaking about striker moves, Danny Ings just went to West Ham. And that I've been a huge Danny Ings supporter for the past couple years, and Mikel Antonio is shocking right now compared to how he was last season. I mean, like, and I know West Ham's kind of fallen off a little bit and kind of been taken over. Newcastle's kind of like taken over their spot as a non-Big Six team that's working their way into Champions League football. But I think Danny Ings not only playing for West Ham, but also just kind of putting some pressure on Antonio to start performing better. It could push them back into European football competition.
I agree. I think Danny Ings is one of those players that he's not world class. He's not anything like outrageous, but you just know that every single week he's going to give you at least a 6.5, 7 out of 10 performance every single week, which is really important for a team like West Ham.
Where is West Ham on the table right now?
Oh, near the relegation zone.
Yeah, they are. They're like, whoa.
I'm surprised that they're not actually really like that bad. All right.
Y'all think? Do you guys think Frank Lampard's gonna get sacked?
Actually,
next couple days.
I saw something that said the Everton owner was not gonna make a decision soon. So I don't know.
Really?
I feel
I saw
like
a
he's
stat
got
today
it.
that I saw a stat today that he's managed 38 Premier League games, and he's amassed a grand total of 35 points. So
Yeah,
it's
I saw that
atrocious for
too.
him.
Yeah.
He has to go, blood. He really does have to go, but I don't know. I don't know why they still keep him in charge. I can't believe it.
Not
Well,
every
Frank,
great midfielder is a good coach. Just
No, except for
Don't
Xavi.
talk about Lampard like that.
Zidane, bro.
except for Zidane, bro.
Without
Zidane,
Lampard doing that bad for Chelsea, we wouldn't have won the Champions League. So
it's true.
That
It's
is
true.
He saw the vision.
So speaking of midfielders that are now managers, I want to talk about Xavi and Barcelona. Bro, whose alarm system just went off?
what was that?
Somebody's getting raided.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Xavi and Barcelona. This is Xavi's first trophy with Barcelona, the Supercopa. I think it was a really good game. I went into the match thinking it was kind of 50-50 between us and Real Madrid, especially since we lost 3-1 to them at the Bernabeu earlier in the stadium. But just really good performance, I think, from Gavi, Lewandowski. A few other players played really good. Ter Stegen did really well. I just think that I'm so happy with this trophy. I've waited almost 2 years since we've won a trophy, and for us to finally get one against Real Madrid feels so nice.
So what do you think that means going forward with Xavi? I mean, like I know you guys have trusted him. He's clearly shown that he knows what he's doing. But like, you think he's gonna be the next like big Barcelona coach, like really successful?
I really hope so. I think he can, yeah. He's done. I mean, I don't see any issues that he really has, any flaws. He does have the occasional small thing that he does, like being a little bit like picky with his players sometimes. But I think overall he's a really good coach. He took over our team when we were in like I think 9th or 10th, and we finished second in the league that season. And now we're pushing for the title against Real Madrid. So I'm really happy with what he's doing. And I think I won't be disappointed if he stays manager for us for a really long time.
If y'all can figure out the business side, because like you already said, y'all are really lacking. If y'all can figure that out with the way Xavi's going right now, y'all are looking really good.
Yeah, also, I didn't watch that much of the game. I saw maybe 20, 30 minutes of the first half. And it just looked like Barca wanted it more than Madrid did. Also, it really looks like Madrid's been missing Casemiro. They've just been really poor on the defensive side, seems like.
Yep, but they still somehow managed to come back in every single game. I think they were playing Villarreal a few days ago, and they were 2-0 down, and they somehow ended up winning, I think, 3-2 or 4-2. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, so we're starting a new segment on this show. It's going to be called What Are You Wearing?, where we're going to talk a little bit about what jerseys we're wearing, what they mean to us, a player they remind us of, something of that sort. Will, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm wearing a USA 16-17 home jersey. I got this like Christmas of 2016, and one player that's really makes me think of is Christian Pulisic. This was when he was just bursting onto the scene, and I really liked him from the get-go, and now he's one of the world's best players, and he plays for my favorite club. So there it is.
He's what?
You heard the man. You heard
Okay.
the man.
Questionable.
He's a Champions League winner.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Can't
Lucas,
argue
what are you
that.
wearing?
I'm wearing the Brazil 2022 World Cup home kit. I got this, I guess, a month before the World Cup.
Did they win that World Cup?
Unfortunately, they lost to this team that parks the bus. Yeah, this
It
jersey
happens.
reminds me of Neymar crying after the PK shootout.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
I guess I can go next since I'm also wearing a Brazil shirt. This kit is from like late 2000s, maybe early 10s, and my dad actually got it when he was in Brazil,
Really?
and then gave it to me, and makes me think of Kaká, my favorite player of all time. and one of the greatest to ever do it.
Goat.
Wow, that's a really nice jersey, Joel. I am wearing the Germany 2022 home jersey. This reminds me of German fans crying after they got knocked out of the World Cup. Also reminds me of this. And also reminds me of the worst young player in the world, Jamal Musiala. He's definitely not better than Gavi or Pedri.
What was the score the last time Germany and Brazil played?
The last time they played? The last
Yeah.
time they played.
No,
Yeah,
that's
are
not
you
what he
talking
asked.
about?
He asked about the 2014 World Cup. You know this.
That's not what
Yeah.
you asked.
What was the score of the 2014 World Cup semifinal between Brazil and
Trinidad?
Germany?
Bro,
It was
you're
definitely
from the
7-1.
US.
You guys lost 7-1 to Germany. That's crazy.
Lucas acts like he
Pretty sure
wasn't
the
born
US
and raised in
isn't
the
a
You're
US.
bringing
That's
up something
crazy.
that happened 9 years ago?
Me? Yeah.
9 years. That's crazy. That was 9 years ago. Wow.
Feels
That does
like
not feel
yesterday.
9 years ago.
It doesn't matter. Brazil's winning.
Feels like
2026.
yesterday seeing that dude's knee flying into Neymar's back. Good
Are you trying to
times.
make jokes about a serious injury right now?
What?
Did you cry, Lucas, that day? Did you cry at all?
No.
Yes, you
Really?
did.
Yeah, you
No,
did,
because
bro.
that was my first actual time watching soccer, and if I saw that happen now, I definitely probably would have cried.
Wow. That's good to know.
For sure.
All right. Now we're doing another segment called Hot Takes. We're going to each say a take, discuss it for a little bit, and then after we're done saying our takes and discussing them, we'll all each vote on a separate take that we think is the worst one out of all of the ones that we heard. So we're each going to have a couple takes. I'm going to start off first. I think that the World Cup 2022 is the best World Cup there ever was. Thoughts?
I don't even think that's necessarily that hot.
Yeah, it was a pretty good World Cup. I
You
enjoyed
just.
it. It's the best one I've seen.
It's hard to
Um,
make that
I
kind
guess
of
a lot of-
claim if you've only seen 3 World Cups.
True, but the level of football over time always increases. So this is going to be, without a doubt, I mean, I don't think there's any other memorable World Cups from the research that I've done. There's very few World Cups in the 20th century that were memorable like this one. 1986 with the handball, maybe 1994 was also pretty good too. But I think the 21st century has the best World Cups for many reasons. I think the presence of social media, especially in this World Cup, everybody's on TikTok, everybody's on Instagram. They can all see like all these trends, songs from the World Cup. That stuff wasn't available in the 20th century, so you don't get like the memories of the World Cup from that.
The
So what are
Neymar
you doing,
edits.
bro?
Singing speed. All right, bro. But
Was it that?
and I know a lot of it is like maybe just like media propaganda, but dude, it's you can't say it's the best when the amount of like deaths and like damage
Okay,
that
it's a little
happened
bit too
from it.
political, Joel. Joel, this is a little bit too political for this podcast.
Why?
Are you being serious?
But all right, there's deaths in every World Cup, right? Every major sporting event has had deaths. To single this one out for deaths is
Not on the magnitude of this one, though. I don't know if that should take away from. I don't know.
the World Cup
Um,
itself. World class, best one
Yeah, in
ever.
terms of games played and what happened in the World Cup was really good. The background to this World Cup was probably one of the worst ones though. So many migrant deaths.
But the final was really good, like Messi versus Mbappe.
That's what matters.
Yeah,
Right? This was
Yeah.
the best final I've seen.
I have to say that final
Yeah,
was
for sure.
the best watch party of any event I've ever
Yeah.
been a part of.
I agree.
I don't think any watch party anywhere was better than ours.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Should we insert a clip of our watch party into the
Yes.
video if we
Mhm.
can?
We should.
Yeah.
Jacob, insert the clip.
Yes.
All right, thank you,
You
Jacob, for
inserted
inserting that clip.
Um,
I thought you guys were going to disagree with me more on that, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit of backlash because it's mainly from recency bias. But I just think it was like really one of the best World Cups. Do you think there's any other World Cups that debate that World Cup in terms of like
2014.
2014. 2010. 2010 final was really good.
I think 2020 is a little bit overrated. I don't remember much from the 2010 World Cup, mainly because I didn't watch it, other than the
2010?
final
Dude, the songs,
opening
the
goal.
culture.
Yeah, the culture of 2010
Waka Waka.
probably is the best World Cup culture.
Can't wait
Goal
for
for
the
all
US
Africa.
one.
There's just something about the World Cup being in the summer versus like the winter
Mhm.
just makes it feel different. Cause like there's no school, you don't have to worry about that. I guess just it being during a warm month rather than in the cold.
You finish watching
I
a
don't know.
game and you go grab a ball and go to the field with your friends.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
still did that in the winter though, so it wasn't that bad. All right, who wants to give the next take? Lucas, give your next take, bro.
Todd Bowley is a great owner.
Bro, Lucas, we can literally pull clips from the last podcast of you saying the exact opposite of that.
No, I didn't. Oh no, I said it was too early. I remember saying that.
Jacob,
remember saying it's too
Jacob,
early to
pull
say
him
he
up.
was a
Jacob,
bad-
pull up the clips.
Bowley should just like sell the club already, and he's a terrible owner. You can pull it up if you want to, but I remember saying it was too early to say he wasn't. Either I said that about Potter or about Bowley.
Lucas,
But
bro, your
after
argument is
further-
flawed.
Further research.
All right, well,
Bowley's a great owner
let me knock you down a few pegs.
because
All right, sorry. All right,
No.
go ahead. Go ahead.
because has anyone ever talked about an owner as much as they talk about Todd Bowley?
Yes,
Like who?
the Sheikhs in Qatar,
No, just stop.
Saudi
Stop.
Arabia.
You're done.
Joan
You're done.
Laporta. All right, what is?
No.
All right, continue. I'm
Laporta.
sorry.
Laporta,
continue.
probably.
Chelsea's been all over the media, whatever, social media, and they're getting all this attention, which brings them more money. And nobody goes after players the way Todd Bowley does. And people get so upset at him for going after players when their club doesn't go after them the way he does.
That's not
Bro.
why we're upset. We're upset because he just sucks. He spends all this money. He
What?
spent more money on transfers in the past 2 transfer windows than Liverpool has spent on transfers
Okay,
in the
okay,
last
let
5
them
years.
play.
Which of those
first.
transfers have been bad other than maybe Cucurella?
Koulibaly.
He hasn't been that
good.
bad.
Which of your transfers have been good?
All of the January transfers that he's made have been good.
What, Madueke has been good? He's 40
Okay,
million
guys,
for a
let them
no-name?
play first.
We haven't even seen him play yet. You can't even say he's
All right,
bad.
let's talk about the ones that he made in the summer. How smart? How
Okay.
does it make any sense to spend millions and millions and millions on players and then sack the coach that wanted those players?
That's not what I'm talking about.
All right.
Talk about the players individually. Which of them were bad?
All right, let's pull them up.
The
Okay.
deals.
You can say the deals, but like if he has this much money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's the
until
one that's
FFP comes in and deducts you 15 points
But
like they
he's
did to
signing
Juve.
these players to like 7 years contracts, so he's not paying 70 million.
All right. All right. Here's the first one. Wesley Fofana barely played a few games. Can't blame him. 'cause
He's
been
injured. He got
I know he's injured. I know
literally
he's.
got injured.
Raheem Sterling has been horrendous. You literally said in the last
Horrendous is a
episode.
stretch.
Whoa.
You
Horrendous.
said in the last
He's literally
episode.
like our top goal. Not saying much. He's our top goal scorer, which isn't saying much, but he hasn't been horrendous.
Raheem
All
is
right,
class.
Benoit Badiashile.
Don't disrespect him.
He's been class.
Badiashile played really well this morning, actually.
He played great today and last game.
All right. I'm just naming the transfers. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he was January too.
There's
How
this
much
one
was
guy
it?
on here. You spent 65 million for him. Mark Cucurella.
It actually just came out
Cuckoo.
that he's been going through personal stuff.
Not a good
So
enough reason. Don't care.
okay.
But to be fair, our starting left back is injured, so we needed a left back no matter what.
Yeah.
Your players
Alright,
are
what
always
about
injured. Maybe Bully should spend his
Aubameyang?
money on trainers. You guys have a huge injury crisis, and
We should
he's
just
not
buy
doing
more
anything, bro.
players.
He's just buying more
Buy healthy
replacements that
players.
aren't
No,
as good
just
as the
buy
players
healthy
you're
players.
missing.
What about
What'd you say on
Aubameyang? Aubameyang.
Terrible.
How much
So
was he?
bad.
It doesn't matter about the price. We're talking about the transfers.
I
were saying
was
earlier that
asking
price
you
doesn't
how much
matter.
I was asking you. I was just saying if you had it up there.
12 million.
12 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's pocket change.
Pocket change, even though you're
I
talking
don't
about
have
earlier
much
that
to say about that. He hasn't been that.
there's been at least 3
No.
players that
It's
I've
not
named
even
that
he
have
hasn't
just
been
been
that
horrible.
good. He's been bad.
Three horrible.
Cucurella, Koulibaly, Aubameyang,
That's just not
Fofana.
correct.
I'll say in Lucas's defense about giving it time. João Felix, even though he got a red card, that's a really promising loan. And Mudryk right now, based on the way he played today, those could be some really promising moves. And if he keeps, if he just gradually is getting better at it and making better decisions.
In
I could
Kunku
understand that.
in the summer.
Okay, that's partly true, but the job of an owner is not just he's not just a bank account, okay? He doesn't just give money for signings.
Okay.
Him sacking
yeah,
Thomas
and
Tuchel is
That
detrimental
was
to you
terrible.
guys. You guys are
That was terrible.
you guys are mid-table
Detrimental.
because of
Terrible.
one of his decisions. You guys would easily be fighting for Champions League spots right now if it wasn't for him.
But is that true though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that true though?
Yes.
Because we still weren't performing that well. The last little part where
Bro.
Tuchel was there.
I'm gonna pull up all the reposts that you have of the
last-
Thomas Tuchel TikToks.
Lucas, that's the thing. The last little part.
What? That doesn't mean I don't admit.
Lucas, look at Liverpool right now. Liverpool are doing terrible, but Klopp is not going to get sacked because Klopp is a good coach and he knows the players and he's works well with them. The owners know that they just need to give him more time and they'll bounce back. That's all Bully needed to do with Tuchel. Tuchel would have got your team right. Y'all would have been back up fighting for Champions League. That was that decision alone makes him a bad owner.
I don't.
Will, what are your thoughts on this?
I think Bowley has made some questionable decisions, but he is doing what owners need to do: make the club relevant, bring in players to win. I can't say he's the best owner. I don't want to say he's the worst. He's average. He's average.
Okay.
I doubt that.
He's
I
not
just
the
think
one
he
that's
sucks.
coaching the players.
How does he?
All right.
But he's the
Will,
one that picked the guy
what's
that coached the
yours?
players.
Sorry. My hot take is it's aight. I just need to let you guys know that Sergio Busquets is top 3 CDM all time, top 10 midfielders all time. Don't want to hear any stick about that. He is simply just he's the reason behind Xavi and Iniesta's success. Without a third midfielder that was almost as good as them, they would not have performed the way they did.
I agree. Completely.
I totally
Easily
agree.
top 3 CDMs.
He may even be the best CDM of all time, and he's super underrated. I'll give you that. But let's not get crazy saying he's top 10 midfielders of all time. I don't know about that one.
All right, give me
Well,
10
then-
Joel
midfielders
Freeze.
better.
Oh,
Give you 10 that are better.
hmm
Xavi and Iniesta, Kevin De Bruyne, Mesut Ozil, Zinedine Zidane,
Okay.
Luka
Calm down, calm
Modric,
down.
no, let
Oh,
him finish.
so-
Let him finish. Let him
Okay,
finish.
I'm sorry.
Andre Pirlo, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard.
Mesut Ozil is better than Busquets.
Yeah,
Where does Ozil play right now?
That
doesn't
does
matter.
not.
Prime
He plays in a
Ozil.
farm. I love Ozil.
Prime Ozil-
but
Prime
he plays in a
Ozil-
farmers league.
Prime Ozil is like not even miles, like light years ahead of Busquets.
But the longevity that Busquets has.
It's hard to
Listen-
compare because they don't play the same position.
But Joel, I don't understand. You said that Busquets is possibly the best CDM of all time, but he's not in the top 10 midfielders of all time. So there's no CDMs in the top 10 midfielders of all time.
Maybe not.
No.
I mean,
Pretty
maybe
maybe.
that's just attacking bias. I know that, but I mean,
hmm
the attacking midfielders just technically maybe not. Maybe they have less influence, but technically I just put the attacking midfielders ahead of them.
If we take out the attacking portion, if it's just passing awareness and not losing the ball, is Sergio Busquets in your top 10?
Yeah, that's fair. I'll say Busquets, and I've made this comparison. Busquets is everything that I wish Rodri was, and everything I hope eventually he can become. Because Rodri, especially this season, has been really bothering me with how much he loses the ball and just gives it away. But definitely, I wish he could have not played out of position at the World Cup. Because if he could be playing behind Busquets or even with Busquets, that mentorship would be so valuable to him. Like, he has the build and the capabilities to become Busquets. He's got to, I don't know what he's got to do to reach it, but he could, as long as he doesn't screw it up.
No, I understand. Where did he play this World Cup? Center back?
Yeah.
It's a weird decision.
All right, Joel.
So I think it's
Okay.
pretty obvious what I'm going to say. That Kevin De Bruyne is the greatest midfielder of all time. But I thought I'd add on to it a little more. Here are my top 3 midfielders of all time. Number 1, Kevin De Bruyne. Number 2, Mesut Ozil. And number 3, Luka Modric.
No way. I'm done. I'm sorry. No way. There's no way.
Go ahead. Say something. Say whatever you think. Go ahead.
So Xavi, the guy who was man of the match in the World Cup final, isn't in your top 3? Arguably, not arguably. If you ask any football fan, 99% chance they're gonna say that Xavi. I mean, sorry, not Xavi. Iniesta. I'm sorry. Iniesta is the greatest midfielder of all time.
I wouldn't say 99% of
Did
people would say that.
Iniesta get player of the tournament at that World Cup?
I'm not sure.
Was that 2010?
2010.
Yep.
I
No, he
wouldn't be
didn't.
He
surprised.
didn't.
Play to the tournament.
You know who
Did De
got it in the
Bruyne?
2018
What
World
is-
Cup? Luka Modric.
But not
So
De Bruyne, the
what's-
guy that you think.
so
How
what's
many?
your-
How
so
many
what's your-
player of the tournaments? How many player of the tournaments does Kevin De Bruyne have?
For the World Cup? I don't know, but let's talk about this. All right. Let's get some stats out of the way. All right, and all these career stats come from Transfer Market, so that's my source. Kevin De Bruyne has 357 goals and assists. Okay. Iniesta, 250. Xavi, 323. Both of them have played over 800 games, whereas De Bruyne hasn't even played 700. De Bruyne's goal assist per game is 0.64. Iniesta's is 0.29, and Xavi's is 0.35. All right, trophies. De Bruyne's only got 23, whereas Iniesta has, I think, 42, and Xavi has like 33, something like that. Now let's think about who these players have played with. Let's think about international. Name 5 players on Spain's 2010 team.
David Villa, Puyol, Alba,
Ramos.
Let me do these
Fabregas.
lineups for you right here. Kevin De Bruyne's center backs were Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, Jason Denayer. His wing backs were Thomas Meunier and Nasser Chadli, Yannick Carrasco, right?
Why didn't you
Xavi
name the
and Iniesta.
goalkeeper?
Courtois and phenomenal, but so is Casillas. And honestly, Victor Valdez for Spain was really good too. Xavi and Iniesta have Carlos Puyol, Sergio Ramos, Gerard Piqué. They have Jordi Alba in front of them. You want to know who Xavi and Iniesta played with in the midfield? They played with each other, and they played with Busquets, who we all just agreed was top 3 CDMs of all time. You know who they also played with? Xabi Alonso, David Silva, Cesc Fabregas. You want to know who De Bruyne plays with? Axel Witsel, Yuri Tielemans. Right?
Eden Hazard.
Yeah. And then up
Jordan
top,
Hazard.
I'll give you that. Eden Hazard, Thorgan Hazard, Dries Mertens, all class.
Lukaku?
All class. Lukaku, he's good. I don't know if I'd Lukaku and
No.
Michy Batshuayi as strikers is iffy.
Lukaku for Belgium was class.
Maybe.
For
In the
a
group-
little,
in the
for-
group stage.
for-
I just think it's unfair to rely. I know you're not relying on stats, but I don't think stats are as important in terms of deciding who the best midfielders in the world are, because it's not just about stats. I just think when you look at a player like Xavi and Iniesta and compare them to De Bruyne is world class, but for you to not even put Xavi and Iniesta in the top three, I think is a worse take than saying De Bruyne is the best midfielder of all time.
So Xavi and Iniesta have to be, both of them have to be
At least
in
one of
everyone's
them.
top three.
At least Iniesta. If Iniesta's
Okay.
not in your top three, you have zero ball knowledge.
No. Let me tell you that because Iniesta and Xavi played together for their entire careers, that takes away so much from all of their accomplishments because other players did that and more with less around them. Like I'm talking about De Bruyne. Look at Luka Modric, best example of someone playing in the international stage. I'll give him that he had Ivan Rakitic. Rakitic is so underrated, such a good midfielder. I'll give him that.
Agreed.
That's true.
But
Perisic.
the fact that Croatia was able to make it to the final and then also make it to the top four this past World Cup, and Luka Modric got player of the tournament over Mbappe, over Messi, over Ronaldo, over Griezmann. Oh my gosh, Griezmann played incredible. And you're telling me that Luka Modric got it. And who does he have on his team? Who's his striker? Mandzukic? He's so irrelevant. He hasn't been relevant for 8 years. He's got Ivan Perisic, who's solid but decent. I mean, what, they have Kovacic? Kovacic he's solid.
Class.
That's all I'll get.
Class.
That's all he'll get.
Too good.
Their defense,
Probably
It's not
best
good.
Croatian midfielder ever.
that's just crazy.
All right. Let me piggyback off of that, and I have a question. In my opinion, let me start with this: Luka Modric's 2018 Ballon d'Or was fraudulent. I think it should have been Ronaldo that won it. I don't think him winning it was fair. And if you look at the standard that they used to decide the Ballon d'Or this now, that Ballon d'Or never counted because they don't base it off of international and club achievements anymore. It's only about personal talent. So I don't think
That's
his Ballon. I don't. Yes, it is not cap actually. They
Yes,
stopped
it's not cap.
ruling it.
Ahmed, you're telling me. You're
Okay.
telling me.
Let me get into my point. My point is, how many times, not counting Messi and Ronaldo, how many times did De Bruyne get in the top three of the Ballon d'Or? Because I know without Messi and Ronaldo, Xavi and Iniesta would each have a Ballon d'Or each.
What international success and European success for club is so important in that. I know you were saying that the Ballon d'Or, as much as it is about individuals, team success is so crucial. And while Man City is the best team in England and dominates the Premier League, even though they're not on top this year, they literally won 4 out of the last 5 before this year. They don't have the same dominance in the UCL. And because of that, De Bruyne is never considered as highly. And because of the fact that Belgium, their golden generation, like I said, consisted of players that most people have never heard of. I mean, Thomas Meunier being your best option for a right wing back in your golden generation says something.
I think we're talking too much about the players around them and not about the players themselves. I just feel like it's almost blasphemous.
I
to
will
say
talk
that
about the
Xavi
players
and-
themselves. I'm saying
Okay.
that your basis for Xavi and Iniesta, you say it's not about stats, but I'm guaranteeing you that their success is influencing your decision. And I'm saying that their success compared to other ones, because they had more success, was based on the fact that they were playing with better players. Let me read some current this year Premier League stats for Kevin De Bruyne. So he's number 1 in assists. Say what you want that that's about Holland or whatever. He's number 1 in assists right now. He's number 1 in chances created, number 1 in big chances created, number 1 in expected assists, number 1 in key passes, number 1 in crosses, number 2 in passes to the final third, number 2 in passes into the box, and number 2 in expected goal chain. That's dominance. That is carrying a team's playmaking and creativity on a whole nother level. And he
you
didn't
don't
even
think Xavi or
he
Iniesta
didn't
ever
even
did
play
that
time.
at Barca?
No, they didn't,
You don't
because you
even
know who
think-
they played with? Lionel Messi.
Messi.
He did that.
Okay. All right, so we've all said our takes, and now we're gonna vote on who had the worst one. So quickly, we're gonna do a recap of what our takes were. My take was that the World Cup 2022 was the best World Cup in history.
My take was that Todd Bowley's actually a good owner.
I said that Sergio Busquets is top 3 CDM ever.
I said that the top 3 midfielders of all time were as follows: Kevin De Bruyne, Mesut Ozil, and Luka Modric.
All right, so I'm gonna pick my worst one first. For me, I really agree with Will's. It's between Lucas and Joel's. Joel, bro, I'm sorry, bro. You have zero ball knowledge. That's just an invalid take. Joel has the worst take of the day.
Mm-hmm. No shot.
I agree with Will's. I sort of agree with Ahmed's. So I'm gonna probably have to go with Joel's too.
Yep, Joel's take was horrendous. Xavi and Iniesta just deserve at least top 5, 2 of them. They can't be 4 and 5.
Xavi and Iniesta could not have done as well if they were in any of those 3 people's positions without each other. They made each other.
That's wrong, but
Okay,
Joel,
Joel,
what do you think was the worst?
Lucas's, for sure. I agree. I agree with Will's, and I agree with Ahmed's, even though I could see why you'd argue with it. Lucas, you made some good points, but
Did you?
sacking Thomas Tuchel that's
enough to
That's
make
enough.
an owner terrible.
When your
That's
first
very-
decision
that's very-
ruins the club.
yeah.
ruined.
I wouldn't say ruins,
Yes.
but it's a huge setback and missing out on a lot of
Like I
future
said,
stuff.
Like I said in the last episode, none of you will be saying this when Chelsea wins.
That's
Champions League.
crazy. That's
when you get knocked out by
crazy.
Dortmund,
That's crazy.
knocked out by
'Cause
Dortmund.
when-
I'm
'cause
sorry,
when-
Will. I'm
Because when
sorry.
Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, and Phil Foden are all in their prime, in form, peaking, the UCL's coming to Manchester.
Okay.
And we know it's
I
not
feel bad
United
that
because
we'll
they're
say
in
this
the
every
Europa
year,
League.
bro.
I feel like we say this every year for City.
Wow.
Treble
Okay,
is
now do
ours.
the question.
No.
All right, so we've all decided on what we think the worst one was, Joel's. Now we're gonna not decide. Now we're gonna do a little bit of a quiz. This is just a general knowledge football quiz. I'm gonna ask the questions, and you guys are gonna answer. These are gonna be a little bit easier than Joel's.
I'm about to get a 100.
I'm about to
We gotta make these.
I'm about to
quick, I
re-
think, 'cause your
make
time's
sure
running
y'all
out.
know that I have the best ball knowledge.
I hope you already know I have the best one.
All right, question number 1. In which World Cup was Maradona's handball against England?
1986.
You literally said it earlier, brother. You can't say the answer earlier in the,
All
the
right,
episode.
that's tough.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say it, but it doesn't matter. Will
He
got the
scored a
question right.
crazier
Good job,
goal.
Will.
Same
That
game,
same
right?
game.
You have to wait. Just
Mexico.
wait until he's done with the question.
All right, here's another really good question. Who was the first Manchester United manager after Sir Alex Ferguson?
Was it Moyes?
Oh,
Yes,
that's a
it
good
was.
shout. Nice.
It
was?
Yeah,
Nice.
Let's go.
That's
Very
well
good
done.
job.
That was good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, here's question number 3. In Spanish football, what is the Pichichi?
The trophy
It's-
that goes to the highest goal scorer
Good
in
job,
La
Will.
Liga.
Bro,
Good
I've
job.
got no ball knowledge. This is crazy.
All right, here's
knew that.
another really good one. Question number 4. Which outfield player played in a UCL final in 3 different decades?
What?
Ryan Giggs.
Good job,
Yeah.
Will.
Let's go.
All right, and now the last question, question number 5. is a who am I question. So, I wore the numbers 7, 17, 28, and 9. And I played in England, Spain, and Italy. Which player
Fernando
am I?
Torres.
No.
What?
There's another league that he played in, but I will not say the name of it.
Ibra?
No.
Ibrahimovic?
What were the leagues? Say the leagues again.
What were the? Yeah.
3 of the 4 leagues were England, Spain, and Italy. Once you guys all make a guess, I'll give another hint if necessary.
Is the other league Portugal? Is this Cristiano?
Yeah. Good job.
What? Why did? How did we? Not
When
get
did he wear 28?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe at Sporting.
I only knew he played in a
Was that the last one?
Yeah. What were we saying? Will?
17.
Okay.
I only knew 2 of his numbers.
I don't know. Well, that's what I got the questions from goal.com. All right.
Nice.
Okay, so that was the quiz questions done. Does anybody else have any additional comments they want to make?
For all of you watching at home, Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder of all time, and Man City's winning the treble. Enough
Don't
said.
listen to him.
Okay. That's not true at all.
Enough said.
That's objectively just false, but
Thanks for joining us of episode 2 of the Ball Knowledge Podcast. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, follow, and listen on Spotify. Thank you.